Hello and welcome to this Black Talk Radio News Commentary. My name is Scotty Reed, and we most definitely got to put the spotlight on Miss Candy. Oh, that's Candace Owens Farmer, because y'all forgot, she got married not that long ago, but apparently she has been outed as a vaccinated anti-vaxxer, and I think this is a very important story. I think that if it turns out to be true, this report by Newsweek, really, what else does she need to do to get canceled? Not because of anything cultural, but because she's a fraud. And a lot of people are losing their lives or ending up with long COVID because of misinformation that has been put out there about the vaccines, and just, promoting this mentality that people are not taking this pandemic serious, which has killed over 5 million people worldwide in less than 2 years. That's a lot of people. No, it sounds like a small minority of people when you look at it in the context of 6 billion or more people. I don't know how many billions of people live on Earth. I think in China alone it's about 6 or 7 billion. So probably around 12 billion, 13 billion worldwide. But still though, every life that is lost, let me not front, because some of these people, man, they are dying. They were stupid when they were alive, and now they're dying because of more stupid choices. And the type of people that subscribe to Candace Owens, a lot of right-wingers, are also suspected racist, neo-Confederate traitors, that ilk, Donald Trumpers and what have you. And the world would certainly be better off without them, but they may have innocent family members who don't think like how they think, and isn't bringing down society the way they are trying to bring down society. But let's get into this story. All right. So Newsweek, less than 24 hours ago, posted this article that I came across in my Google News feed that says Candace Owens spotted at a UFC event where vaccinations are required. Remember, this is why Kyrie Irving is not playing for the New Jersey Nets, because he can't play in the city due to the rules, the emergency rules that were put in place to mitigate the spread of COVID. And we're starting to see, as it gets colder, those cases starting to have an uptick. So like I've read other articles, COVID is here to stay. It's not going nowhere. It's even infecting the animal populations. There are zoos with even lions and tigers getting infected with the same strain of COVID that's infecting human beings. The deer populations in the Midwest, it's spreading and incubating among the wild deer population. I think of the biggest population is the whitetail deer populations, which we have a lot of those in North Carolina. But anyway, because of the rules that's in place, that's keeping Kyrie Irving from joining the Nets because he chooses to remain unvaccinated, would have prevented Candace Owens from attending as a spectator this UFC event. And no, she wasn't there as a performer. She wasn't a part of the program. She wasn't an employee of the UFC. She was there as a spectator, and as such would have been required to show an ID and a vaccination card where the names match up with the ID. I don't know, maybe she could have bought a fake one. They've been busting people for those fake vaccination cards, but I doubt somebody that high profile is going to risk it, even though I've seen in Hawaii it was taken so serious this one person got jail time. But if you violate the emergency orders that's in place in New York City, it's a small fine to somebody with deep pockets like Candace Owens. I think it's like around $1,000, $1,500. We'll look at some of that information. But so Newsweek has asked for a response from the Madison Square Garden, the MSG, the promoters, which have been the UFC, and Candace Owens, and they've yet to get back to them on this story. And this story hasn't really hit the mainstream news cycle, even though this occurred over a week ago. knowing she's been out here with this strong language in the past week. 6 days ago, Newsweek reported Candace Owens compares child vaccination efforts to Hitler and Stalin youth programs. I mean, just bombastic, over the top, just going hard in the paint with her anti-vaccination stance. Candace Owens, 2 weeks ago, it was reported, she said she was still unvaccinated. I survived the greatest psychological fear campaign in human history. That's what Yahoo News reported. But here, as it turns out, she might have been vaccinated the whole time. Okay. Is she going to talk to the reporters that I'm sure should be getting in touch with her to ask her, because she could have got vaccinated with the J&J, which is one dose, in the past few days before she attended this event, but she would have had to show proof of vaccination. It's just terrible, man. It really is. So from the Newsweek article, it said on Tuesday, referee Mike Beltran uploaded a photo of him and Owens from November 6th. So that was just 6 days ago, with it being the 12th today. This was UFC 268, the Ultimate Fighting Championship. This referee uploaded a picture that he took with her to his Instagram and captioned the post, "You never know who you'll come across at events." Two very down-to-earth people, at Real Candace Owens, at Chris Melion. And so somebody else took this picture of Mike Beltran, the referee, and Owens. And Owens is not wearing a mask, and we'll blow up that picture here in just a bit. But Owens also mentioned the event in response to a verified Twitter user. So yeah, she verified that with a Twitter user who complimented her and claimed to have made eye contact. So she verified the account. She was there at the event where you have to be vaccinated. Now, here are the exemptions as Newsweek reports. There are exemptions to the order who can enter covered venues and premises, provided that such individuals wear a face mask at all times. They are unable to maintain 6 feet of distance from other individuals while inside. Okay, so it goes on to include a non-resident performing artist not regularly employed by the covered entity, as they are in a covered premises for purposes of performance. So that would be MSG, Madison Square Garden. A non-resident professional athlete sports team who enters a covered premises as part of their regular employment for purposes of competing. So again, why is Kyrie Irving? Because he is a resident. That's where the Nets normally play. And so as a resident, he doesn't get an exemption. All right. And he's employed by a local team to that area that's covered. So, and then the last exemption, a non-resident individual accompanying a performing artist or professional athlete sports team into a covered premises as part of their regular employment, so long as the performing artist or professional athlete sports teams are performing or competing in the covered premises. So this covers all the staff of the basketball teams that comes in, the staff of the fighters that come in, the UFC. Different promoters, they have employees, and their employees can only get exemptions under this. Candace Owens is not working for the UFC. She's not working for Madison Square Garden. She isn't working for anyone but herself, and in my opinion, those who have a vested interest in maintaining white supremacy. Okay, that's just my opinion. And we have to look at, when you have influence like a Candace Owens, a Donald Trump, these athletes and other celebrities, being that we live in such a celebrity influencer society. But there is a site called Anti-Vaxxers.com, and it explains the influence that these people like Candace Owens, who is turning out possibly to be the vaccinated anti-vaxxer, going hard in the pain against vaccination publicly, all on social media, and it turns out it's likely that she's vaccinated. I mean, wow. And if you go to Anti-Vaxxer, and you type in Candace Owens on their website, you'll come up with a whole bunch of people who have posted memes or shared memes that Candace Owens posted. A lot of vaccine misinformation and a lot of bombastic rhetoric comparing vaccine mandates that have, especially for children, that has been going on since the 50s with the advent of the polio vaccine. You know, to equate that to Hitler in Hitler's youth, you would think a person never watched any documentaries on what they were about, and to compare it's just ridiculous. But again, she knows who who her audience is, who her core audience is, that puts dollars in her pockets, that buy her trash book. But people are losing their lives behind all this misinformation. So this is the proof. Here you have referee Mike Beltran. I guess he handed his phone to someone to take a picture of him with Candace Owens, both of them without masks, both of them at the Madison Square Garden at a UFC event. He's working, so if he's not a resident there, he will have an exemption, but he's supposed to have on a mask according to the rules, so it's likely that he's vaccinated. Okay, but then Candace Owens is not wearing a mask, and she had to show proof to even get in the door as a spectator. Again, Newsweek has asked all three of the entities involved, Candace Owens, the Madison Square Garden people, and the UFC promoters who put on this MMA event. And thus far, they haven't commented, and I haven't seen this story reported at all on the rest of the corporate news like MSNBC or CNN or of course Fox News. That's Anti-Vaxxer, Misinformation Central. Of course, they're not going to report on this. If they do, I'll be shocked. All right, so I am vaccinated. I need to go get my booster, but I am vaccinated, and I take this pandemic very serious. It's disproportionately affecting African descendant people and other non-white people. They are dying the most. They are filling up the ICUs. I don't even have to visit one. I've listened to like celebrities who go try to help these hospitals and what have you, talk about all the black people they seen in them. And this virus isn't a joke. Doesn't matter if most people recover. It's still taking out some of our best and our brightest. Well, I don't know how bright they can be though. Let me not even go there. But anyway, in my opinion, it's better to be vaccinated than not. That said, peace and blessings to all. Make sure you continue to support the nonprofit Black Talk Media Project. Check the description below where you can find your donation links. Thank you.